Hi guys, let's start chapter. Okay, in this chapter, we will be talking about the writing good news and natural message. In the next chapter, we will be talking about writing bad news. So here what we will be doing is we will be talking about writing the good news. The learning objective of this file is that we need to assess the reader likely reaction to your message. We need to see how is his reaction or her reaction. We describe the general plan for a direct order messages, write clear, well-structured, routine inquiries, write a direct, orderly, and favorable answer to inquiries. Also, we write order acknowledgement and other thank you message that build a goodwill. Write claim message that address errors while building a goodwill, and write a clear and effective internal operation communication. They're all different, the way you write them. First of all, what do you do? I suggest that you have some kind of a draft email written there, and all you need to do is to do some adjustment to it. And you might can download some samples, leave them there, saved in your file. So whenever you need to write, you can do that easily. But here, what you need to assess the audience reaction, positive or natural. Be direct. Ask for something, comply with a request, give a good news, acknowledge an order, and negative reaction, be indirect when it's a negative reaction, you're thinking of it. Ask for something your reader will not grant, for example, and probably refuse a request. So that's where you be direct and where you're going to be indirect. When you want to be, when can you be indirect is when you ask for something or you want to comply with a request. Give a good news probably. And once again, acknowledge on order. But when can I be indirect is when the reader would not grant you that thing, or they decline your request, for example. The direct order, you need to begin with objective. You need to make sure separate subjective from objective, and you need to make sure you begin with the objective. You need to cover the remaining part of the objectives if there is any, and you have to end it with a goodwill. Showing goodwill in writing is as important as showing it in, a personal situation also. Now, there is what you call a routine inquiries, and these are things that you do it routinely. Start by asking a specific questions that set up the message, or by making a general request for information. These are routine questions. If there is necessary, you can add an explanation. If two or more questions are involved, you need to make sure they stand out with a bullet, numbering, stars, or something like that, and or question form. End with a goodwill, again, conclusion, and adapt to the topic. Here is an example for a bad example of writing inquiry. Let's read it, and we'll see where is the wrong thing once we're looking at the good example. And this is the good example of inquiry. See how easier to read and understand, and the respond is willing to answers. So these are the part that you need to make sure written in that way when you're writing an email for an inquiry. Now here I need you to make the call. On the surface, it might seem as though the conclusion of the sample written on the previous slide is the self-serving. But how does the reader benefit by meeting the writer's deadline? You looked at the both, what's the difference? How's the benefit? What is the benefit by meeting the deadline? They can see that they are ready to close the business and they are serious about inquiry. Strategize for making a question clear. Make each question a separate sentence with a bullet. That would be a good idea, or bold it and it's separate. Maybe you can number it, give each question a separate paragraph also, order or rank each question with a number, as I said. Structure your question in a true question form so that they stand out instead of being read within the text. It's a very clear question so they can see the question and stand out. How you write, how you respond favorably. Identify the message you are answering. So what do you want to answer with the message? And you begin with the answer, arrange other answer if it's needed. Handle the negative with care. Consider including extras and close cordially and a warm feeling. Makes them feel that you are really interested and give them a warm feeling of writing. Order acknowledgements. Sometimes you need somebody is setting up the order and making an order. So you need to respond to that. Begin with the good news. Include to thank and message. Thank you for making this order. Report the problem with the order. If there is a delay or more information needed. Directly this number, your card number, whatever your client number. Emphasize on the positive and the orders positive, and close once again with the friendly words. This is a bad example for the order. Let's take a look at it. And this is a good example for a good, see the difference? It's the warm feeling here, the positive feeling. There it was a very dry and negative feeling created, or no other special feeling generated. As I continue of the good order, good example, you need to spend some time, first of all, practicing, and you need to save, there's standard emails that you need to send. Make sure that you have a draft of them ready. So just in case some days you are in a bad mood and you need to send a goodwill an email, you have the draft for it. So that's the thing. Sometimes you also, when you are in a not very good mood, not positive, you drop the email, you can see the other side can have that feeling about that, and for no reason you being negative, and they can see that. And sometimes you make a mistake. Could be a very happy person, very positive day, but you, as I said, what you want to do, you probably have some drafts available at a folder, and name them accordingly so they can easily use them and just put different names and whatever add-on information there. In the thank you message, begin with a direct statement of thanks. Follow with a relevant personalized comment, and then conclude with a forward-looking statement. I hope you are able to join us for the running of the real relay on the June 12th, for example. Here is where the question comes in. Could you do without emails? In what situation might a business find email necessary and beneficial? We need to know that. When you're doing a claim, when can you write a direct claim and when can you write indirect claim? When you write indirect claim or it is when you want to inform a company of a problem. You can do it directly or indirectly, that's fine. But when you expect your request to be granted, then you can do it directly. But when you are anticipating a negative reaction, you can do it indirectly. When you want a written record, you can do it directly or indirectly from the other side. In the direct claim plan, begin with a polite but direct statement, anticipating your request will be granted. So keep tone objective and professional. I will come tomorrow, and please grant me so-and-so for expanding so-and-so. Explain the issues, as I said, supply the information needed to understand and adjust the claim. Very important you do that. And also provide a good, well closing. Don't forget the 3 steps of them. These are very important. If you put 2 steps, might not be very attractive. You want to make sure you do not generate too many emails back and forth when you're trying to be a director. The indirect claim plan, when you realize your request may be met with a resistance, it's important to choose the right tone. Project a rational image of yourself and of the reader. Focus on fact, not feeling. Lead into the problem at the beginning. Describe the issue clearly and firmly. Make your claim. Ask for a refund, correction, whatever, and use cordial language, warm language to close. So make your claim, ask for correction, refund, whatever it's happening, but you need to close it in a warm sentence. In the internal operation messages, there is 3 types of message: friendly or casual message. There is a moderately formal and there is a high formal. In the casual one, when you're talking to your friends or colleagues, then there is a quick response to immediate word needs, and the conversational, but a direct and frank. See you tomorrow. Yes, we will do. We will meet, something like that. The moderately formal, more careful, constructed, direct message. You want to send a message to a group of colleagues, and it has to be conversational, straightforward, but courteous. But then you have the highly formal message, which could be a policies, procedure, avoiding mistakes. It should be undirected. So it has to be formally written by supervisor to subordinate. The formal operation message plan. Use a direct order. Be clear, concise, and courteous. Use a professional, somewhat formal tone. Order the information systematically. and close with a forward-looking statement. I look forward for your response. If you're looking at a certain date, you also will need to put there the date, due date, timing, probably. So convey the correct meaning in both your content and your tone in a way. Thank you.